welcome back to Don't Open That Door. Come along with our triumvirate of terror as we descend into darkness, hurtle into horror, and plunge into peril. If you've ever accidentally connected your computer to a shark's Wi-Fi, you're in the right place. I'm Justin, and when this movie was coming out, I was actually still getting my doctorate in underwater philosophy.
Yes. It returns. I am Nico, and I am once again representing the Underwater Squad!
Well, I'm Sharkbait. I mean,
And we are here today to review Sharktopus. So first and foremost, we got to give a special mention because this was produced by horror royalty Roger Corman, but it was directed by Declan O'Brien, starring Eric Roberts as Nathan, Sarah Malakul Lane as Nicole, Julian Gonzalez Esparza as Santos, Kerem Bursin as Andy, and Peter Nelson as Commander Cox. And you know, Kareem's name it looks Turkish to me, so I probably slaughtered the shit out of it, but we're gonna keep it moving. So we open with some chicks at a beach. One of them goes into the water and a shark attacks. Oh no! But then a Sharktopus shows up and kills the shark. That's right.
Fuck.
yay.
That's right. Because as it turns out, the US government funded a secret project to make a hybrid shark octopus to be a stealth killer, codename S11.
What?
And if you think that's weird, the US government has already funded someone to give dolphins blowjobs. Or hand jobs.
What?
So it's really... Things go well, but S11 collides with a boat propeller, which disables its external control. The shark goes berserk, and Nathan and his daughter Nicole, who are the scientists in charge of S11, are told to capture the Sharktopus or the entire project, which is codenamed Blue Water, will be canned.
Like tuna.
Whoa! Well, how would you take it from here? That was just too good.
Thank you. S11 then heads to Mexico with Nicole and Nathan in hot pursuit. In Mexico, Santos, an agent who works with the scientists, says that they really need to bring in the best man for the job. And that man is Andy Flynn. Nathan's
Hell
hesitant.
yeah, brother!
Ooh, it's a legend in the making. Nathan is hesitant because he fired Andy a little while ago, but eventually approves, and Santos stops Andy from drinking with beautiful women to pursue S11. While this is happening, S11 goes on a fucking killing spree. What did you expect? Even making it on the news. And so now the government is really breathing down Nathan's neck to get the job done. But again, can't kill him.
Well, when you need someone to get the job done, got no one else besides Dan here. So Dan, how's this end?
Nicole, Andy, and Santos try to capture S11, but they are unable to do so, and Santos is unfortunately killed along with some of the crew members. Now, Andy goes on a rampage, and Andy and Nicole then pursue the Sharktopus onto land because, yeah, it can do that, as it continues to rampage, eventually killing Nathan. Nicole theorizes that if Andy can tag the Sharktopus with a control device, then she can use her computer to trigger the kill switch and blow S11's brains out. Some big brain shit. Well, Andy engages the Sharktopus in one-on-one combat and tags the shark with the device. Right before S11 can kill him, though, Nicole triggers the kill switch and the Sharktopus explodes. Andy links back up with Nicole, and he muses if the monster might come back. But Nicole says that kind of shit only happens in the movies. And the pair walk away. The end.
Well, we got a lot to talk about, so let's get started, shall we?
Do we?
I guess compared to what we reviewed last week. So, how does this movie look, Nico?
Oh, man, it's charming. It's real bad. Sharktopus looks so fucking bad. It's like... y'all remember that one fucking show on, I can't remember if it was Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon, but fucking, the one with they're in the computer and they got the little, like, Mega Drive and shit. Reboot? Yeah, it looks like slightly above Reboot level of CGI fidelity. Like, once it's on screen, it immediately draws your attention because it just looks so visibly out of place, both in terms of its design and just the rendering of it. And for what it's worth, that is a fun time in and of itself.
Dan, what'd you think of the Mexican vista?
There's a lot of beautiful Mexican vistas, but it looked really nice. I thought also Sharktopus looked really terrible, but I thought it was pretty charming, I guess. I don't know if Nico used that word, charming.
He did.
You know, this is a movie designed or made for Sci-Fi Channel, and like it very much is a callback to, or is one of those kind of sci-fi big monster kind of movies that have terrible CG. And I love those kind of movies sometimes. So while it looked horrible, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely. I echo the sentiments. And all I got to say is I feel like there was a slight excuse here. Maybe not slight, maybe a little bit bigger than that. They have a lot of really beautiful women in bikinis in this movie. And yo, they do not miss an opportunity to get an ass shot. I mean, there was literally one time where this chick was like picking something up from the ground and she just like posed perfectly. It was like ass, like a Paul Wall video or something. But the point, the point being is, I have to echo that Sharktopus didn't look great, but that is the point. And I'll talk more about that later too. But now we go to the sounds. I mean, Nico, surely the sounds were decent.
The sounds were pretty decent. I honestly don't have too many complaints. The only thing I'm going to add here is the some of the screams and the explosions just really take me out of it. And I can't remember, was Wilhelm in this one?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's it's always satisfying to be like, found you. But yeah, it's real goofy.
Dan, sound off.
Yeah, agreed. And the dialogue was pretty corny too, with such gems as, you know, oh, I don't work for them anymore. Well, they'll pay you more. It's not about money. They just they didn't give me enough, so I left. Oh, so it's about money.
Yo, I got one more. So at the start, one of the scientists goes, well, the Sharktopus has attacked some stuff along the coast. And then Nathan goes, well, yeah, it's a shark. So what's going to happen is it's going to attack a couple things on the coast and then move on. And then not 5 minutes later, he goes, well, it's an octopus, so it's very territorial. So it's going to stay exactly where it is and it's not going to leave. And I was like, what? And they go back and forth on that like over and over again. I'm like, y'all are fucking with us.
I also love the moment where it's one of the transitions later on there sailing out, and there's a moment where one of the just key realizations is that sometimes octopuses are on rocks, and there's this like big dramatic swell, and they're just like, I see what must be done. We have to go to the big rock.
or the whole I looked at the map and saw that the attacks happen roughly 2 miles from each other. Well, how did you figure that one out? Well, you looked at the map.
Hey, yo, man's never heard of maps before.
I'm not going to lie to you, bruh. Reading a map is a skill. And even back in 2010, that shit was a skill, okay? So I'm just putting it out there. Now, this movie has 2 little subplots that are running along with the major one that we didn't list in the synopsis, because why would I? And one of them is this news reporter that's trying to get a scoop or a story. Well, they all die. And the other one is there's this like talk show radio host. He plays music, I guess, and he's there. He's the captain. Forget what his name is. Oh, Captain Jack. Okay, way to rip the name from one of the greatest kind of electronic acts ever, Captain Jack. Ayo, Captain Jack. So I will say this. They put out some pretty meta commentary, don't they, Nico?
Yeah, their scenes when they're on dude's little semi-yacht or whatever the fuck are just...
How you gonna call it a semi, bro?
It was
half.
only
It's a half yacht.
Okay.
Half yacht.
All right. You can call that a little yachty. Anyway,
Boat.
Oh.
I don't...
This is such a good episode.
When they're on the boat, they're just basically talking about the very movie that they're in. And it's very, very, very meta to the point that it is in a movie that is already very silly. It just seems like a sudden tone shift out of nowhere, like we're doing some sort of Jonathan Swift satirical shit, and I was just a little bit taken aback when that was happening, just because I was not expecting that level of very hyper-specific awareness and nowhere else in the movie.
I mean, you say nowhere else, but literally at the end they reference, hey, monsters only come back in movies. They're in a movie.
I mean,
and I think
fair.
they do spread it around. Yeah, I think they do spread it around a little bit.
Okay, that's fair, that's fair.
But Dan, the fact that this movie is so silly and they're seemingly self-aware of how silly this movie is, surely that helps, or do you think it hurts?
I mean, I think it helps. I think that a movie, a B-type movie like this, that is self-aware, helps stop you from thinking it's bad because they did a poor job, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think it opens your mind to knowing, oh, this is supposed to be bad. So it changes your expectations a little bit, I think. Now, it could still be bad. Maybe they just didn't do that well, but it's not bad because it was trying to be good. It was just bad because they wanted it to be bad.
Yeah.
Said bad a lot, but yeah.
Well, is it bad that I actually, don't mind that it's bad? Because
All right, Wale.
hey, relax. So, hey, shout out to the chick who was in it before Rihanna, bro. I feel like she got done mad dirty. But regardless, moving on past that, we got tons of references in this one. Be sure to look everything up we're talking about on the internet because it's worth your time. And
Be culturally literate.
yeah. And I agree with Dan. I think it helps that it's so self-aware at times because I think a lot of those movies, particularly on the Sci-Fi Channel, way back, and this ties into my personal, my backstory, because as I've said on the pod before, my mom and I, especially, in like our dark days, poverty days, whatever you want to call it, every Friday night, my mom and I would always post up watching the new movie. Like Sci-Fi used to drop a new movie like weekly, and seeing this, it's no wonder how, but they used to do that. And I remember like this was one of the movies that came on. I'd be like, bruh, like what are they going to do next? Like, what is this? And my mom would be there in the corner. Justin is a pack of shit. And then she'd be like watching it like so intently. So I'm like, okay, chill. But this movie, along with Sharknado and stuff, I feel like they kind of help to push this. I consider it a subgenre almost because before, yeah, Sci-Fi had those like cheesy movies. I mean, fucking hell, bro. They had movies about bats, gargoyles, piranhas, them, all kinds of stuff. But I feel like this movie and Sharknado and Piranha 3D, which Nico and I so spent our money when we were broke as shit to go watch this in the movie theater, and we're both like, what the fuck is going on?
I just rewatched that, or attempted to rewatch that. I got like 15 minutes in and it was just a hard pass. It is so fucking bad. So fucking bad, but that's another episode. I hope not. Don't watch it. Here, I saved you the trouble and us.
So I will say, though, that I feel like they kind of helped make this almost modern rejuvenation almost of the old school kind of B horror movie joint that, again, Corman was a big factor in that. So it's no surprise that he produced this. And would you consider those kind of cheesy B-movie creature feature kind of things, are they their own subgenre? Like the fact that they are B-movies specifically, is that a subgenre to you of horror?
I think so. I think the B-movie creature feature, sci-fi B-movie creature feature is a subgenre in and of itself.
Sci-fi movie creature feature.
Yeah.
That's my input. I've just been thinking about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle soundtrack for like a minute.
Yeah, I like it.
Because my brain is insane.
Yeah.
Insane in the membrane.
Insane in the brain.
It's actually interesting that you say that because I want to ask, were there any characters that to you acted insane or crazy? You know what I mean? Or were they all relatively rational thinking, do you think?
Totally all rational thinking.
I feel like Sharktopus just had a fucking blue screen at the final battle, though. Like, he could have just absolutely munished them without a second thought, but he happened to drink stupid dum-dum juice right before, I guess.
Well, he actually couldn't have drank that juice because sharks take in liquid through their gills.
He would have gilled that juice.
Did you know, dear listener, that you can actually disable a shark if you get into combat with one by blowing oxygen, like, into its gills, like exhaling into its gills?
Do not fucking do that. Absolutely
no,
do not.
You can't. It's a fact.
Do not
like
do that.
What
was
is
that?
Like
wrong with you?
Throwing a knife at somebody's armpit or some shit?
Yeah.
How is... Wait, hold the
need.
fucking phone.
The
How he's
accuracy
breathing
that you
into
need
gills
to blow air.
At all.
Because you need some mad fucking accuracy on that one.
Yeah,
bro.
well, remember, we talked about this where the guy was like, oh, I'm not afraid of... if someone carries a weapon because I got the kunai and I can very accurately target the human vital points
studied the blade.
from across the room. That's actually what Nico said like 10 years ago when we mentioned this.
Yes.
You literally said that. So I'm glad that you're consistent, if nothing else. And I just want to say, again, blowing into a shark or a fish's gills is a way to incapacitate.
Do not do this.
Bro, what is with you in blowing fish?
No, I'm saying you can't actually blow a fish, but you could blow into a fish. For more on that.
I thought you said dolphin blowjobs earlier. Yeah. You are the underwater
Per
philosopher.
your earlier comments this episode.
The U.S. government has already funded someone to give dolphins blowjobs. Dolphins are mammals.
Yep.
Aquatic animals. How about that?
Aquanimals?
They're mammals, aquatic animals.
Akumbis.
Oh, shit. Yo, quick side note. The 20th anniversary of Aquemini just passed,
Nemo
bro.
and an anemone.
That's insane.
An enemy, a Nemo, and another.
Anyways, what do you guys think about the design of the Sharktopus, though?
I like it. I thought it was cool. I mean, big ass shark in the front, big ass octopus in the back. What's not cool about it?
It's like the monster movie version of a mullet. It's all business in the front. You got the shark efficient killing machine, but a party in the back. Because what the fuck are those tentacles gonna do? Kill people. They're going to kill lots of people.
They can fucking walk.
They can fucking. They're walking here.
He was, and I was stunned that this movie even knew that octopi can actually traverse on land for a little bit.
Yeah, bro, there's a lot of research that went into this film.
I spent a lot of time researching things such as fish gills and octopi.
Was this on your required reading when you were getting your doctorate?
This was an elective. We didn't have to watch this one specifically, but there was Leviathan, and then there was another movie that's just like Leviathan that we'll be watching on the podcast. Shut up. Shut up. So, to try and keep this podcast on track, because the listeners came for the beef, okay? Not for what y'all are serving up right now, okay?
No, they came for the shark. Ain't no beef in this one.
Shark beef.
Ayo. Sorry,
There's another movie,
right
Shark Beef. It's a cow with a shark head.
Nah, hold up. Pause on that.
Moo.
I hate when people tell me, like, oh, you eat fish? Fish is meat. Bro, how the fuck is fish gonna be meat, bro?
It absolutely. What? Are you dumb?
How the fuck is fish about to be meat?
Fish is absolute. It's muscle.
That's not the definition of meat, though.
But yes, it is. Flesh coming from an animal. Are you telling me fish ain't animals?
Nah. Meat is defined as the flesh of mammals. That's why it starts with M.
No, that's not how that works. No. Etymologically and linguistically, no.
I'm telling you, bro. Meat is defined.
I'm not letting you have this.
Meat is defined like that. So I'm going to do more research on this. But
yeah, like meet and greet.
Right. Oh, Justin almost rhymed something else. So let's go ahead now and talk about... So let's go ahead and talk about our favorite scenes, shall we? Whether it was your favorite kill or just favorite scene in general, what is your shining star of this movie?
I like the one. This is maybe kind of a lame one. I don't know. It's probably one of the lamest kills or parts, but when there's that one, I think it was the fishing boat, and the Sharktopus kind of like comes up and like the tentacles reach up and grab it. And I was like, oh, that's like a classic, like Kraken kind of like giant octopus, like tears down the boat kind of scene.
Oh,
I
when
thought
that
that was,
happened,
like,
I
kinda
literally
cool.
said, "Unleash the Kraken."
Yeah, right. So I thought that was like one small, tiny sliver of intelligence in this movie.
Nico-san, how about you?
This is one of those movies where I don't have a favorite scene just because I kind of had a good time throughout all of it. The stuff that stands out to me is, or the one scene that it stands out to me is the part where they've got the US Army on the line and they're saying, "Now remember, you can't kill it." "But sir, it's a killing machine. It was designed specifically to finish the job. And that's why you gotta bring it in alive." Just like the sinister, stupid, I don't dumb shit that was coming out of their mouths. Just it's real goofy, and I always love that shit.
So my favorite scene actually involves, believe it or not, Roger Corman, because he was kind of an extra in this movie. So
Didn't know that.
I mentioned it earlier, but so there's a part where you get this like really fit chick. And by the way, I'm going to say it right now. You can tell from the way she looks, she is definitely an aesthetics model. Like she put way too much work into that. Like she's not just like cut, she's also like very defined. And I was like, she definitely worked really hard, way too hard to be in Sharktopus, whoever you are out there. You'll never hear this, but good job. And so she
Yes,
just like,
because she worked specifically to get into this movie.
And
I don't
nothing
know.
else.
I'm saying if you put the hours and the commitment to get that kind of body and then you wind up in Sharktopus, I feel like the universe kind of did you dirty there. Maybe not. Maybe it was a springboard and now she made millions. I don't know. I hope she did.
Surfboard,
But
actually.
regardless, there you go. So
Surfboard,
this is the best episode we've ever recorded.
all the single ladies.
Remember Black Beatles and how Lizzo ripped that song? Moving on. So my favorite scene is, as I was starting to describe before y'all ran me aground.
Lost all of our
Talk
brain
about how fit the
cells.
chick was.
Well, right. I'm trying to set the scene. So she bends over and there's this old guy. It's Roger Corman standing behind her. And she like, I guess was metal detecting and she finds a doubloon and she
That
holds
was
it
my
up
favorite
in
scene.
triumph.
I forgot about that. That's my favorite scene.
And he's just like staring. Nothing. Doesn't say a word, just stares. And then Sharktopus, which is as he can do, he comes right up on the shore and then grabs her and she's screaming for help. And then he just like sits there and watches as the Sharktopus like decimates her. And then he just shrugs and goes and grabs the coin. Doesn't even say a word. And I'm like, well done. And Nico, I'm glad that's your favorite scene too, because I really think that scene, it was cinema. You know, in the words of Martin Scorsese, that was cinema.
Yup.
So I want to give a quick shout out here to our hashtag not sponsored, but hope we could be. Let's Build a Zoo. And it's a fun little video game.
Billers
but
of the Blower Boon.
The game has a fun little twist that you can do where you can genetically combine animals. So for example, you can make a pandalope, a crocstrich, and many other kinds of animals. So my
Describe that
question
one,
to you is,
please. Go into detail about this. What was it called? One more time?
the crocstrich?
Yeah, please go into detail about the crocstrich.
Yeah. So imagine a crocodilian head on an ostrich neck with a scaly body and ostrich legs.
All right, don't oversell it. I'm done. Golden, you've sold me.
So let's say the government contacted you, right? And of course, this is what would you do? And said, hey, listen, we need to make an effective aquatic stealth killer. This thing has got to be able to go behind enemy lines into the enemy ocean, take people out, and we should be able to have plausible deniability. What creature hybrid are you making to make the most effective killer? And call out some of its traits.
So I've got it. I'm gonna hybrid an orca with a different orca. Because orcas are already the best goddamn killers in the ocean, and I'm just spray paint some navy camo on them bitches. and we're donezo. We're so good.
Okay, Nico's gonna make the orca. Now, Dan
Or cucka.
or cucka. I like that.
Nope. Let's go with your version. Yeah, let's go with your version.
Let's not. Dan, what are you gonna do?
I think. See, I don't know. I would do a jellyfish and a sloth.
What the? Why?
Because sloths have those claws, right?
Uh-huh.
And a jellyfish has 5 points.
See, I didn't know we could do like land animals. See, now you got me thinking.
You just got to make
different.
something that's aquatic. You said
Okay.
the orca was the best.
I mean, yeah.
well-
It's half aquatic, so
So if we have the option to expand, then I'm doing an orca and a moose.
Why the moose?
Moose are already terrifying, and fun
orca.
fact, when certain areas in Canada have flooded, there have been orcas that have gone inland, and moose have been known to dive into lakes occasionally for prey. And so there are documented cases, I'm not fucking kidding, of moose attacking orcas. It is buck wild, the world we live in.
Yeah. Just like those lions who only ate bison meat and then got brolic as shit. But
Yeah.
damn.
And then proceeded to just absolutely terrorize a Planet Fitness.
What about you, Justin?
well, hold up. We got kind of disorganized here, which is a very organized podcast. But Nico, so your Morca, what's the split? Like, what's the head look like and what's the back end?
So the head is absolutely a moose head, and it's got the sort of like black and white drip of the orca, but it's got the sort of like fur coating on top of that. So not only does it look fly as hell, it is also insulating and deadly.
Okay. Now, Dan, you were talking about there's 5 points on a jellyfish.
I
Sloth
definitely
claws?
was like mixing like a fucking starfish and jellyfish in my head.
Oh,
I meant starfish and sloth. So then like it could just like spin around real quick like a fucking
Shit.
like a ninja star or some shit, and with like its claws, and it was just like, yeah, nothing can approach it, bro.
Sashimi
It's game
kunai.
over. Yeah. And then like if it spins fast enough, it would make like a little like whirlpool that just draws you into its claws. Yeah.
so there's a fish. I don't even know the real name of it, but in Trinidad,
Gary.
it's called the cascadoo. And it's like a very heavily spiny armored fish that I guess is kind of like a local delicacy. And when you taste it, you're like, this was not worth the effort to kill this or cook it. But
Damn.
it's a thing.
Delicacy, huh?
And so I would merge that with an anemone
A Nemo and another me.
because, hold me on this now, a cascadoo can actually walk on land.
Okay.
Okay.
So, and an anemone, I don't even got to say what an anemone is.
You don't know.
What? Hey. First off, how the fuck dare you? But secondly, an anemone has the stinging espers on its ends. And so
Espers?
that's what they're called, bruh.
Spines, my
I.e.
guy?
IESPRI, esper.
Nope.
Look it up. Okay, I'm tired of y'all doubting my underwater knowledge. Anyways, so the cascadoo now is very, very, very armored. So it and I'll magnify that armor velocity so it become big armor, and then it jump up to the boat from underneath and sink it automatically. And then the mini stop everything from swimming so everyone could just drown.
How?
Is it fucking cast gravity or some shit?
Does the anemone have this
because
fucking
Stop
flex
people
seal?
from swimming.
Right, because the anemone now could stop you from doing that.
With flex seal.
The anemone have the ting.
Yeah, flex seal, we
Yo.
know.
No, anemone. Hold up.
This is by far the most scholarly we've ever been.
See, the thing, Justin, is an anemone is a flower.
Anemone, it's a creature. It live in. No, you want to talk to me about anemone. Okay, what you didn't know is the anemone has an oral disc, tentacles, and a strong sphincter. Okay? They got siphonolographies, organelles.
Siphonolographies, huh? I remember learning about those in maths class.
All right. So like I said before, bruh, unless you're like an ocellaris, the anemone's gonna come get you, bro. That's it. We done. We done talking about this now. You already know what it is. And Nico can't even eat certain kinds of seafood. So I don't know why this man even opened his mouth to talk about no anemone.
Wow, okay.
Because you never even had an anemone, bro.
You're right, I haven't, and I never will. And I'm okay with
You're
that.
damn right. You're damn right. So anyways, Mo, moving on. This is not going to help my bid to guest star on other podcasts. But on any case, whew, it's time for the critic review. And we're going to take it down a level. Time to get professional.
Okay.
What do you think this movie has on Rotten Tomatoes from critics?
I think it has a 47.
Wow, this change in energy is nuts, by the way. 47 from Dan. Okay, Nico, where are you at?
Yeah, it's extremely jarring now that you've pointed that out. Okay, I am gonna do the thing where I add up the numbers in the time code. 44.
You're wrong, Nico. You're wrong.
Okay.
You're wrong about this and the anemone. Because this is sitting at a 50% from critics on Rotten Tomatoes. The audience was much less generous with a 24% from the audience. Now, I don't really care. You know, there's a lot of fish in the sea. I want to know what you guys think. What would you rate this movie?
I think I would give it a 67. 67. It was entertaining, but I don't think it really did the best job of being a dumb B creature, a sci-fi B movie creature feature. There were good parts. There are parts that I thought were just kind of bad. Overall, it was fairly enjoyable because, I gave it above a 50, which, below 50 sucks. 67, I feel like is okay.
Okay. Dan, I feel like we're in a similar current because I also would give it a score in that zone. It's a 70 from me. And I think this is a classic example of, hey, you want to watch a cheesy horror movie that doesn't take itself too seriously and doesn't overstay its runtime? Here it is. So I liked it.
I'm going to give it a 68 for basically the same reasons that y'all have already said. I laughed a lot when I was watching this. I'm not going to lie. I laughed much more than I would like to admit and had a really good time despite talking shit on this for about almost 40 minutes at this point.
Yeah. So is this one going to squeeze out a recommend from us?
Can't believe I'm saying this, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no.
Whoa!
Because I think that there are better sci-fi B movie creature features that I would recommend before this one.
Okay, well, you heard it here, folks. Nico and I would have reeled it in, but Dan let us swim on by. So it's not going to get the recommend from us, meaning it's not eligible for any further awards. So there you have it. But if you like what you've heard,
Get help.
if you want to question anything we've talked about when it comes to underwater biology or philosophy, hit us up. We're here for these questions. We are on X and Instagram at DOTD Horror. We're also on Facebook, which is, of course, Don't Open That Door. And if you want to swim by our website to check out everything we've done, that is, of course, dotdhorror.com. But till then,
Please give us a like and rate us 5 stars. We love you.
good shout, Nico. Until then,
Don't do anything Justin said in this episode.
protect yourselves from the creatures of the deep. Because remember, we know more about space than we do our ocean.
Which is fucking nuts! Can we talk about that for a second? That is absolutely buck wild. How little we truly know about the depths of the deep-ass oceans we have on this planet. We don't know a goddamn thing about the deep ocean. Water's fucking terrifying, man. Sorry, just that gets me every single time when I think about it.
Gets me too. Take care of yourselves. And as always, dear listener, don't open that door. Bye.